friendly fox hanging out. All right. Alright. Oh, man. That would have been nice if that could have went in. Damn, that went straight as a fucking arrow. I don't understand that. It wasn't a straight putt. Why did it go straight? That don't make no goddamn sense. Let's go. Ugh. Damn. There we go. Didn't come back at all. Start turning. It's the second fucking putt now that's went straight as a fucking arrow. It was all fucking break. So what does that mean that I'm like, I don't see how I'm hitting it too hard, because it's getting to the hole. It's just weird. Weird and wacky stuff. Oh, it bounced the wrong way. Not cool, ball. The fuck? Get in there. Fucking A right. Let's go. Good job, wind. I was hoping I'd go more left, but okie dokie. Oh, fucker. I think I'll be able to go driver there. Not worked out. Don't get on the green though, because I'd rather flop it from back here than try to have to putt that bitch. Golf Messiah. Yeah, buddy. What up? If I had more money, I'd go start making t-shirts just to offend people. Golf Messiah. Going more right than I wanted it to, and not far enough. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Oh boy. Turn ball. Get in there. Fucking A. They were like pretty much like 2 to 3 sentences. One of them was more closer probably to a paragraph because it needed a little more explaining. But I wanted to try to figure out a way to like, I'm sure they get emails, you know, from people all the time and shit, and they're like literally writing out their life stories or, you know, their whole idea. And I was hoping that maybe just by keeping it simple and just putting pretty much the plot, or like, you know, the thing you see like when you read a book and then they make other book reviews in the back of the book and somebody just writes like 1 or 2 sentences about another book, like a review, and that's supposed to be enough. That's kind of what I kind of reviewed my own ideas and I broke them down to try to make them interesting and quick. But I also made sure that if like one of them had a weird twist or something, I didn't give him the twist. I didn't tell him the twist yet, but I told him there was one. I don't know. Thankfully, it's helpful that the dude I sent it to that works at this place knows me. I think that probably helps me a little bit. He knows I'm a little off. And that I'm not, you know, your normal everyday dude. Yeah, there's no way I was hitting that with the 224, but I probably should have now. Evil! Stop it. Well, this will put the long distance putt to work. Holy crap. Uh-oh. This is bad. Yeah, I knew it. I didn't hit that nearly hard enough. Shit. Yeah. Pretty much. Trying to make him want more, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take a bogey there. That's disheartening. Because that's what I figured. I thought, you know, maybe if I like kind of leave them hanging on the edge, if anything, they'll want to hear more. If they like it, you know. We'll see. It's not like I figure that's a start. That's how I'm looking at it. That's not the end. It's just the beginning. It's literally the first email I ever sent. So if they don't like it, I can't be like, I quit, man. That's it. I quit. Mainly because I already did that once. But I quit before I even gave it a chance. So. And last time I was right, and there wasn't nearly as much as far as social media and ways to reach out to people as there is now. Oh, this wind. Yeah, I knew it. I hit it too hard. My thing, I looked at it, and that's why I drew back the next time. What the fuck is my problem tonight? Should have hit the range or a little something before, just to get the funk out. I know I'm really sick of this wind, and I'm hoping this is the only round that I had set up for high winds. Holy crap, this is bad. Yeah, I'd like to think that he'll probably know, like I said, being that I know the dude, he'll probably just hit me up on Facebook or something and say, hey, you know, we need to chat, blah, 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 about this or that idea. You know, one way or another, yeah, he'll want me to come in and talk to his partners that he does this with to introduce myself, I'm assuming, and like I said, I sent him 5 ideas. I literally have a notebook over here full of skits, scripts, all kinds of shit. That's actually how I started out on YouTube. a long time ago, me and a buddy had a comedy page on here, and like literally just as we were kind of getting a little local following, at least, we had to stop because we just had life shit happen. I tried to keep it alive by myself as best I could while my buddy was on break, but it was just, it kind of died, I guess, is the best description, unfortunately. And it sucked too, because I thought we were pretty good at it. I would have liked to seen where we could have taken it, I guess, put it that way. Somewhere on the interwebs you could probably go find some of our old stuff. I know I never deleted the MySpace shit, and the videos still exist, but get in there. Yeah. Yeah. But unfortunately, my buddy deleted all of our YouTube videos. And then I do have all the roughs here though on disc. I just kind of hung on to them in case. Right? That was kind of, I don't want to say TV show, but we were thinking ahead of the curve, and it was kind of crazy because we were thinking it'd be cool to do an internet show like Saturday Night Live, but on the internet, because everything we did was improv. Like, we wrote out a basic plot or ideas for the story of how we kind of roughly wanted it to go, but as far as lines or any type of script, there was none. We just fed off each other, and it was just all about, you know, timing and knowing where the other guy was wanting to go with it before he'd even say something. And we were really, really fucking good at it, I thought. I think we were. Like, I don't know. I think we were fucking pretty good at it. And that's the shitty part, is that's just not something you do with anybody. You know what I mean? That's, I don't know. Well, that's a good shot. But I kept kind of just writing after we stopped filming anything. I just kept writing every idea I kind of ever had down. Even if I didn't think it was the greatest, I just wrote it down on a napkin or anything I had around me that I could write on. And then eventually I would transfer it to the notebook. So some of the ideas in the notebook are literally one line long, other ones are a paragraph, other one are 3 or 4 pages. So yeah, it's just kind of a chaos filled of my brain's nonsense, I guess. It sucks though, because from time to time I'll be watching YouTube at like 3 in the morning or something because I can't sleep, and I'll be sitting here and I'll see some video of something that is remotely like what we were wanting to do, or, you know, and I'm like, God damn it, look at this. This is exactly like what we were thinking of, you know, what we talked about doing, and now these people are doing it, and they have like 1.2 million, you know, subscribers. Now, granted, the odds of us being that person are slim and none, but I don't know. No, my favorite class in school was anything I didn't have to do work, which was PE. But if you had to go like legitimate class, like that wasn't, you know, art, PE, or music, it probably was science and history. I loved learning about fucking space. Like, I'm a huge NASA fucking nerd. Anytime I can catch a rocket launch on, you know, live stream or something, whether it's SpaceX or whatever, I'll watch it, and I don't care if people make fun of me because I think it's just cool shit. But yeah, I actually hated English, but it wasn't because of the subject. It was usually because of who was teaching it. Now, I did have one year where I had a really kick-ass, it was a composition class. And I really dug that, because all we got to do all year was write. We just wrote. So there was no like learning, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it was just, okay, give me everything you've learned in school and now write me, you know, this or write that. And that's what we did. And it was really cool. And actually, towards the end of the year, that teacher, his name was Mr. Barry. He passed away a few years ago. But he took me aside after school because I had to come in and get some extra help with some shit. And he was kind of looking at me funny, and I was like, what? And he talked funny. He talked like a really deep southern accent, and he was really old. So he was like, boy, I don't know what you plan on doing with your life, but you need to be a writer. You should be a writer. I was like, all right. So I didn't take that very serious at the time, and I should have, because I think he knew something. Like, I feel like he knew my ideas were worthy. God damn it. I got an A++ in his class, and that's the only class in my entire, like, from first grade till my senior year I ever got an A+ on anything. But I got an A++. Otherwise, I loved band. Band was cool because I loved playing the drums, so any chance I got to play a drum, I was good with that. Math was my, oh, that's perfect, look at that shit. Math was my death subject. I like writing if I can pick what I'm writing about, but I hate writing what I'm forced to being. Like, if someone says, you know, write me a 10,000 word essay on George Washington, it's like, really? Like, okay, I'll do it because I have to, but that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. But the teachers that were like, okay, you pick the subject, but I need 10,000 words on that, those are the ones where I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Oh shit, that one got away from me bad. Help me out. Fix it, course. Thank you, golf course, because that one really got away from me. Like, the only science I really didn't care for was chemistry, and it wasn't, once again, because of the subject, it was the teacher. Oh, really? Really? That can't go in? Like, the periodic table and all that shit drove me insane. But I loved making things go boom, and I loved chemical reactions. Those were always cool. Alright, so we need a birdie on 18, and we gotta knock out that bogey on 12, and we'd be sitting a lot goddamn better. See, I would make a teacher regret that, because I would end up really going in depth and really being a smart ass about it. All right, you want an essay about my favorite sandwich? Well, you're gonna get the best essay you've ever gotten on a hot beef sandwich, lady. So I hope you're ready for it, because by the time you're done, you're gonna be starving mad hungry. That's what I would do. That's how I got through school. That was why I think it was you that was telling me about how I wrote that essay on the final story thing about on LSD and how it was used in the army and all this stuff. I think she didn't think I was going to take it very seriously, and I was like, you have no idea what you're about to learn here, lady. See, I'd have really bugged her then, man. I'd have made her real hungry. Yeah, see, that's the kind of shit I did. I tried to come up with, like, I'm that guy that tries to make everything very unique and very different, but still following, you know, all the rules and regulations, so they can't say, well, you didn't, no, hold on, I followed all the rules. I just bent it. I found a way to bend them. I like to bend rules. I was a rule bender. Large cup of soda and 3 donuts. Damn. I guess, man. To each their own, huh? My math teacher, or it would have been an algebra teacher when I was in middle school, I'm pretty sure all he did was drank coffee and smoked cigarettes all day long. Like, you almost didn't want to ask him for help. Get like a nicotine buzz, or else his breath would smell so ridiculously bad, because it's like, bro, you gotta brush, man, like in between smokes or something. It's like, I don't care if you smoke down in the boiler room, but goddamn, you gotta brush or mouthwash some shit before you come in here and hover over my fucking shoulder, breathing down my freaking back, my neck, nicotine coming down it, and it was like a green hue came out of his mouth, like that little finger in a cartoon, except instead of pointing and trying to draw you in, it was like flicking the back of your ear. Alright. So, I'm super excited that at least 5 people seem to be playing every event thus far. That makes me feel super cool. I think this one 4 played. This one it was like 6 or 7. No, this is one 5 played. So was it the 420 one? The Tiger Woods 420? That many people played? I know there was one of these goddamn things that 6 people played. Oh yeah, huh? Hey, there it is, 6 of them, yeah. Our PE teacher was probably close to the size of your other teacher, your English teacher. He was a big old dude, and he'd yell at you to run faster, and you were just like, bro, you want to race? Like, because you'll lose, man. He was a cool guy. It was just kind of crazy how hard he got on us to do things. It was like, I don't know if he was just trying to avoid us all turning out looking like him or something, but yeah, dude, you didn't want to make him angry or slack off, or else you'd hear about it. But I went to, like, my problem was I went to 3 different schools growing up. I went to the first school I went to was in the town I live in now, and I went there until I was a 8th grader. Yeah, it was the end of my 8th grade year when we moved. So I moved at my freshman year. That was a really horrible year to move. And I went from a class of 9 kids to a class of 37 kids my freshman year, and they all hated me because I was from a rival school. You know, that was awesome. Always nice to move to a school that, you know, hates you from the get-go. And then after I finished my sophomore year in that town, and then my sophomore, in between sophomore and junior years, we moved again, and I finished at a different school where I actually graduated at, where I went my junior and senior years. And there, I had 123 kids in my class. So I went to very different schools where things were just very different at all 3 of them, including teachers. So it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but culture shock wasn't even the right word for it. It was just, I don't know. I'm glad there wasn't the internet. I know that much, because I'd have been fucked. It was bad enough dealing with people face to face at those schools every day sometimes. The 3rd school I went to wasn't too bad, because most people were, you know, just doing their own thing by your junior year, but it was hard to try to come up with a new group of friends my junior year, after I had just done it 2 years earlier, my freshman year. We had a kid at the school with 100 kids in my class. He could run. He was a distance runner. He won state every year, 4 years in a row. He was there. It was crazy. I remember reading about him before I even went to that school. And then I got to that school and I was like, holy shit, this is that dude I've been reading about in all these newspaper articles all the time. I was in the same PE class, and fuck, dude, he was a different breed, man. He could just run and run and run and run, and it was like, damn, dude, do you ever get fucking tired? Just crazy. I'd be gassed on like my 2nd or 3rd lap, and there he'd be passing me. Like, fuck, bro, you're making us all look bad. That shot sucked. Jesus. Oh, you just couldn't move one more fucking inch over there, could you, ball? That wasn't very nice. Yep, pretty much. He would just yell and stand on the balcony above you. He would just stand in the same spot the whole time while he yelled at you, telling you to go faster, blah, blah, blah. It's like, damn, bro, go away. I had a teacher, he was actually my original PE teacher at the original school I went to with the 9 kids. He ended up marrying one of the kids from school. She was like a senior in high school, and it's like probably like, I don't know, 1991ish, give or take, 92 maybe. And like, we always made fun of this kid because we're like, man, the dude's really nice to your sister, you know, blah blah blah. And little did we know, here like 2 years after she fucking graduated, they ended up getting hitched. And it was like, whoa, that's kind of nuts. Like, we were right. Alright, hit ball, and then you gotta slow her down a little bit. Get up and around. Sit down. This is going to be a really gnarly eagle putt. Get in that hole. Fuck. Man. Oh. Damn it. I really thought that was going to go in the hole. God. I know, right? The good news about that is, I don't know if it's true or not, but I had a person who plays a lot of golf tell me that the good news is if you're barely missing a putt, that means you're on the mark. You just got to figure out if you're hitting them too hard or not hard enough. But your aim is perfect. If you're just missing them by that much, that means you're on the spot. You just got to fix it a little. I'd rather be on than be way off, I guess, put it that way. Gotta do is get these irons. Slow down. Stop, 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 stop. No, 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 no. Yeah, I did not need it to go that far away. That one went in. Couldn't see it because of my big fat head again, but it went in. Yeah, honest to God. Like, do you mean this video game or like real golf? Like golf in real life? Because I'm going to answer yes to both. Just saying. This game is more about just, you know, figuring out your swing and getting tempo down. In real life, golf, dude, I started playing golf when I was 15. And granted, I didn't have anybody teach me. I'm self-taught. So I'm sure I'm doing everything horribly wrong, which is probably why I'm not really good at it. I'm okay. I don't suck at golf, but I wouldn't consider myself a good golfer. But for being self-taught, I consider myself being an okay golfer. But let me just say, it took me probably 5 years just to get to where I felt like wasn't gonna kill somebody on a golf course, break somebody's windows on a golf course, or just do something really bad with a golf ball. And I still, even to this day, do that. And I'm like, man, I'm surprised they let me come out here, but I paid, so that's on their insurance to deal with, I'm assuming. I don't know how that works, but we have a golf course here that I've actually played. It's right along the interstate, and my buddy hit a semi-truck, the trailer part one day when we were playing. I tried to tell him, dude, you don't need to hit that club. Like, that's too much club. But he did not believe me. And he's like, dude, I think I'm going to use this club. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's too much. And he smoked the shit out of it, and it went flying over the green, flying over the ditch, all the way up to the interstate, and we heard the thunk. I was like, fuck, he thought they were going to come, like, arrest us or something. I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's like, you know, you weren't trying to do that on purpose, and even if you were, I guess, you're the dumbass that did it, not me, so they'll come for you. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There are other people who, you know, I guess until you try it, maybe you're just naturally good at something. That's how I am at most sports. I just pick it up. I just watch it, and I don't know. Some people are like that with school, though, you know. They don't have to study. They just show up on test day, and they take the test, and boom, bang, boom, perfect. And you're like, how did you do that? That's kind of how I feel in sports. Like, I don't have to study, I guess. I show up, and I can just do it. I mean, yeah, I'm sure on a certain level, but that's the nice thing about golf. If you're not playing tournaments and you just want to go play golf, if you don't want it to be competitive, it doesn't have to be. It's all about what you want then. You know, if you just go out and play a golf round by yourself, I guess. Now, I can't do that. I'm competitive. So even if I'm by myself on a golf course, I'm playing my best previous score, or, you know, my best shot, or whatever, you know, so... But if you just want to go out and hang out and have a good day, yeah, you can do that too. See, I was the type where I had to study, and then I'd get to the test and I'd freak the fuck out, and I'd end up bombing it because I freaked the fuck out. And then I'd get home and I'd remember all the answers, and I'm like, you dirty brain. Like, where were you today? Uh-oh, that's not good. Push that one to the right. Sit. Don't go away. No. No. Shit. That's exactly why I didn't want to hit it there. God damn it. Get in there. Whoa, baby. We'll take it. Right? And that'd have been me, probably. She probably has the same affliction I have, dude. Where you have everything in your goddamn head, and then test day comes and you pretty much have a brain fart. And everything is just gone. And it's annoying. It's super annoying. Because I know I wasn't a freaking moron. It's not, you know... I did fine on day work and, you know, normal tests. It's just if a test really, really mattered, like, I'd almost rather a teacher didn't tell me, oh, and, don't, you know, make sure you study because this is worth this much of your grade. It's like, why did you have to just say that? Why couldn't you just act like it was another test and I'd have been just fine? It's like, now that you said that, now I'm screwed. It's like, because now I'm going to freak the fuck out even if I try not to. It's like, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Sit down, ball, and stay right there. Sit. Yeah. See, I had a friend who literally never even took a book home. If you'd have looked at his books, like, you know, you get your book at the beginning of the year, and we got new books one year, and you could look at everybody's book and all our, you know, all the, the bind, whatever it's called. I can't even, I'm having a brain fart about the word, but the crease of the book would all be, you know, wrinkled and shit because opening the book. His looked brand fucking new at the end of the year because he had never opened it. It was the dumbest thing ever. And he ended up, it was even dumber yet, he graduated with a pretty much perfect grade GPA, and he went to college, and within the first break, it's pretty much Christmas break, he flunked out of school. He had like a .03 GPA because he went to class one day. Now how crazy is that, right? Dude's a fucking genius. He can tell you what time it is just by looking at the sun within 10 minutes any time the sun's up. It creeps you out. I don't know if he can see, like, I don't know what he sees, but he sees something. We worked together, and none of us had to wear watches because he could tell us what time break was within 10 minutes, and it was always right. And at first we thought it was a scam, like, oh, he probably has something in his pockets. And one day we told him, we don't believe you. We think you're screwing with us or something, dude. So he took his pockets out and we hung around him, and it's the craziest shit ever. The dude could literally tell us what time it was. Stop, ball. Stop it. And he was like that in school, though. He could just show up for a class, take the test, and walk out. And it was like, pencil drop, dude. Done. No. For real, it creeped me out. I told him straight up, dude, this shit creeps me out. It was something about, he understood the seasons and the angle of the sun and at what time it should have been, to the point of where he could just break it down. Like I said, I don't know if he was one of those people, you know, that you can, like, they say they see shapes and it makes math a lot easier, but he was a creepy dude. Yeah. Yep, actually I'm gonna see him, what'll it be, tomorrow night? He's coming back to town. He hasn't been to town in like 10 years. He was in a band for a while, a ska band. It was a pretty cool band too. Went to a few of the shows and stuff. If they had a show in Lincoln, we usually went. But yeah, he's a good dude. Come on, be good. Holy shit. Oh, just why couldn't you went in right there? That'd have been a beaut. That'd have been a beaut. Yeah, I don't know if you can find any of their music anymore, but if you look up 8th Wave, as in the number 8, and then TH, wave as in a wave of water, 8th Wave, you might be able to find something somewhere about him. I have a few friends that are in bands. I have one buddy that I went to school with who's a drummer in a metal band you should check out, called Dead Echoes. All one word, Dead Echoes. See, he's the drummer. There you go. They actually just recently, I think, were either going to have a reunion show or they had a reunion show. They used to kind of tour around a little with Straight Outta Junior High. I don't know if you've ever heard of Straight Outta Junior High, but yep, that'd be about right. They've had a few shows in between now and then where they kind of, like I said, did little reunion shows or just something here and there, but they were a pretty popular band around here. I was kind of surprised nothing more ever kind of came of it, and I think that might have been more their decision than just not being able to get a good record deal or something, but nope, that's not my friend. But I know him. I know all of them. I know them all. My buddy was the lead singer. At least the main lead singer. Fuck, I thought that'd get over there. His name was Chris. Chris with a K. Oh, damn it. Now I'm just fucking up. I can't believe that didn't get up there. I know he wasn't their original lead singer. I think they had a lead singer with somebody else. I'm trying to remember when he would have joined the band. I think he probably would have joined them in like 99 or 2000 maybe. Somewhere in there. I think he was the lead singer for their last 2 or 3 years pretty much. They were still a band on a regular. But Dead Echoes, my other buddy's band, they still play. Yeah, see? You're like the Eighth Wave fan club now and you didn't even know it, dude. Look at what I've turned you into now. I loved their fucking music, dude. And it wasn't even just because he was in the band. Yep, Dirty Money. There you go. Dirty Money. Yep. Oh, that makes me laugh. Dirty Money. Yep, that's my friend. It's a good dude. Actually, him and my kid share the same name because I liked the way his name was spelled so much that I was like, you know what? Let's do that. Dirty Money. Oh, Christ. Just push that. Alright, stay close so I can still get a goddamn birdie. I have quite a few friends that are actually in some pretty cool bands now. Some of them still play, some of them went off to college and shit and did other stuff. So it's kind of crazy how that works. We actually put on a ska punk metal show in New York one time. It was actually the same dude I did my comedy show with because we were trying to promote our comedy show and get it noticed. And by doing that, we put on a rock show in our little town that's not too far away. It's like got 8,000 people in it. And I told my buddy, I was like, I think we need to have a rock show and we'll do stand-up comedy stuff in between the bands. And we ended up getting 3 bands coming and playing, and yeah, it was a good night. Got about 90 people to show up, so I was impressed. I still think to this day it's still been the only metal show in the history of York, so pretty proud about that. I don't know if you've ever heard of a band called Dirt Fed. They toured with Slipknot for a little while, and the clown from Slipknot signed Dirt Fed, and they're a band from about, I don't know, 40 minutes from where I live here. I don't know if they still play or what they're up to anymore, but that was a while ago. They were some pretty intense dudes. So go back towards that hole. Jesus Christ, it's just son of a bitch. See, that's kind of the cool thing around here, since I'm stuck in the middle of the United States. We get everything. Everything and everybody, I guess, is the best way to put it. So we get a good mix of just about all types of music. I mean, you can go to a town like Lincoln here, an hour from me, and you could probably see a country show, a hip-hop show, a metal show. You could probably just about name it and see it. I mean, it's very diverse with music around here. And I like it that way, though. That's how music should be, you know? I'm pretty sure for our state fair this year, I was kind of surprised, they got Hailstorm. I'm not a huge Hailstorm fan. Like, I like a few of their songs. I'm not like this, you know, I'm not going to claim to be a Hailstorm freak, but it's at least nice that they're not just having country music like they usually do, because usually that's all we get is country, and more country. So I guess it's kind of nice that they're at least broadening that a little bit. Whew. Coming back, bitches. They struggled this round. I struggled a little bit, but not enough for it to really, quote, hurt me, I guess. That'll work. No. God fucking damn it. That's one of those putts I needed to look at again, and I would have moved it over one more smidgen. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. If you really want something fun to go look for, that'll send you on possibly a wild goose chase is go try to find some of my old comedy stuff. It's the Henry Allen Project. Henry Allen Project. And I promise you, if you just search it, you're not going to find anything crazy. You're going to have to dig deep. Because if you just search the Henry Allen Project, you're just going to come up with one YouTube video of some person who made a YouTube video montage of like a bunch of our skit stuff that we did and put it to, I think, Turning Japanese. I could have swore that's what it was, and I didn't even know that existed. I was just curious one day if I Google searched the Henry Allen Project, what would come up, and that was like the first thing that popped up was this crazy YouTube video. I was like, I didn't make this video. And yeah, I don't know, apparently at some point some fan, I guess if you'll call them that, made a little montage video with some of our stuff, and it was pretty funny. I got a good chuckle out of it. But like I said, even when I've had to go try to find my own videos, I had to dig pretty fucking deep to do it, so... Damn it. Ugh. These last two holes are driving me crazy. Can't believe that one. Last one, it was what it was. This one, that should have been in. Damn it. When do I plan to get a phone? Never. Until they force me to. Until the man says every human being must own a cell phone, it's a smartphone. I'm not going to have one. Just crazy like that. I don't know. At this point, I feel like I've stuck to my guns for so long. By getting one, everybody would be freaked out around me. I still have friends that can't believe I've never gotten into the whole smartphone thing. They figured I for sure would have been one of those people that was a smartphone kind of guy. Hey, alright. But no, I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, I'm a little different, man. For starters, I'm an old guy playing video games. I still get shit from some of my friends that I still play video games even. It's like, man, I didn't think I was that old, my god. I was like, if I'm ever too old to play video games, you might as well just take me out of my misery, because shit. As long as I can functionally do it, I'll be playing video games. Especially if they get me a damn college football game back somehow. This is risky, but I'm gonna do it. Alright, that's gonna have to be one hell of a putt though. So it's all left to right. 53 feet. They want me to hit it 98. Get up there. No, 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 no. Thank you, ball. Alright, so we took a one-shot lead going into 18 here. And considering I was, what? I think 13... I think I was 5 strokes behind after the first round. I'll have to go check, but I'm pretty sure he was at 13 under and I was at 9 under. We have one more round after this one because it's a championship. The regular events are 2 rounds, the championships are 3 rounds, and the majors are 4 rounds. Oh, and the finals are also 4 rounds. Come on, be good. Hit and roll. I thought it'd go a little further than that. Shit. You know, we had to have a discussion this last year about football because they have, you know, full pads football up here for like 7th and 8th graders, and like I get it, it's, you know, it is what it is. I would have probably played it when I was a kid, but they also didn't know what they know today. And with that said, I told my kid, I said, listen, dude, it's not that I want to be like a fun sucker and tell you can't do this, because I don't ever want to be that guy. It's like, no, you know, you can't play this because it's dangerous. But I just explained it to him, and I kind of left it up to him. But I also, you know, I didn't try to scare him. But I told him, I said, you know, the risk you're taking of blowing out a freaking knee or, you know, hurting a shoulder now as a 14-year-old or 13-year-old kid, where that shit's going to heal messed up now. You know, it's not going to heal good because your body's, all your things are still, you know, doing their shit. That's brain included. And I'm pretty sure my head's a little screwy because of the fact that I got probably about 16 concussions by the time I was 15 years old. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm not even exaggerating. There were a lot of times playing baseball and football, and I wrecked a car one time where I don't hardly remember shit. People tell me what happened, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't even remember that. Like, I remember crashing my car, but I don't remember doing this afterwards. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, you know? So it's like, it's one of those things where they play baseball up here, you know, their summer baseball. And then in school, he last year played on like they had like a basketball camp. It wasn't a team, but it was just a week-long camp deal where at the end they all played a tournament against each other and all this. And he played soccer a few years ago, and he really didn't like it. So I mean, yeah, he'll play sports, but like I said, as far as football goes, until he's in high school, I don't know. There's no reason for it. And I know coaches would disagree and be like, the sooner you can get in pads and play the game, and I agree, that's true, but you're also, the sooner you're getting in pads, the more hits you're taking, and every hit, I imagine it like a level bar on a video game, every hit, just a little more comes off. And at what point, what happens when that bar is empty, and you're only 16, because, you know, you're a kid, and your knees are already, like, my knees are blown, dude. Right? And like, yeah, it hurts. I'm not even 40, and I'm already like in pain because of sports. So I don't know. I think he'll thank me for it down the road. Yeah, I got a pretty good shot to the face one time from a basketball, and that's still to this day, I don't think anything like sport ball, you know, has ever hurt quite as bad as the time I got hit in the face with a basketball. And I think it's just because it covered like a whole part of my face. Like, it wasn't just, you know, I don't know, it really hurt. Like, pretty sure I broke my nose at least twice when I was younger, and it was one of those deals where they're like, you're fine, just, you know, walk it off, man. It's like, I don't know, guys, like, this shit really hurts. And I have this huge notch on my nose now, that I did not have when I was a little kid and none of my relatives have. So either, you know, my mom's got some explaining to do, or I'm pretty sure I busted my nose at least once or twice. But times were different growing up in the 80s and 90s, man. Like, I laugh now when some of my friends who have kids like freak out because their kid did this or that. And they like run them to the ER and like, shit, man. Don't you remember being a kid, dude? We didn't even have seat belts, let alone child seats. Like, I remember running around the back seat of my grandma and grandpa's car and like grandpa taking a corner a little fast and getting flung across the car. And I turned out somewhat okay. Yeah, I have two bent. My pinkies both bend. They bend like devil horns if I put my fists together and stick my pinkies out. I have this like cool devil horn thing because my pinkies aren't straight. They're bent. Because I was riding a little mini bike one day. My friend got a mini bike and we were out pissing around on it. And we decided to take it next door where this kid had built a couple ramps. He drove, you know, much bigger bikes than us, but we decided that, you know, well, hey, if we get this motherfucker going fast enough, we can ramp this shit. And I should have probably talked to somebody first because, you know, those mini bikes are not meant to be ramped. They're very peculiar about weight, where it's at. And it probably is a good idea to be on it for more than about 20 minutes before you start to do sweet jumps. And I hit this ramp pretty hard, and all I remember was the back end not coming down at all, and my front end just dropping. And I thought, that's weird, you know, motor's in the back. What's happening? And before I could even think to do anything, the front end of that bike hit the wheel, and I went flying over the handlebars and endoed into the ground. And apparently my pinkies caught the brunt of the force. And I didn't break any other fingers except both of my pinkies, but it's kind of cool how they both healed almost exactly the same. One's a little different than the other. Thankfully my message fingers there, the middle fingers, they're both straight as an arrow, so when I get my point across. That was actually one of the things, speaking of middle fingers, that's one of the things we did with my comedy thing. Was we asked all our fans to send us a picture of them flipping off the camera while doing something you wouldn't normally be flipping off a camera. Man, we got some good ones. One of my friends got married, and when she got married, in one of her fucking wedding pictures, she flipped off the camera. That one made the Hall of Fame wall, man. That was like the best one. It was hilarious. She's a cool chick, though. She's not what you would consider your normal, you know, flowers and stuff chick, so I wasn't totally surprised that she did it, but at the same time, you know, all her family was there, and yeah. I got an email that said, wedding picture, fuck you. I opened it up, and that's what it was. It was a picture of her in a really nice wedding dress, holding up the bottom part a little bit and just flipping off the camera with a really snarled smile on her face, and it was perfect. We got all kinds of pictures, though, man. I was getting pictures of people in Ohio, people in Florida, people in frickin' where was the one came from? California. It was nuts, dude, how many people started sending us pictures, because it, you know, that was just at the beginning age of Twitter and all this other stuff was coming out. Like I said, MySpace was dying, so that's when we decided to make our move to YouTube. We tried to figure out what we wanted to go with, because MySpace was definitely on its way out. So we said, okay, well, let's take our format to YouTube. Right? Those mini bikes are crazy, dude. Little mini Honda 80s or whatever they call them, dude. I don't even remember what it's called now, but just a little mini bike, little Honda mini bike, blue. I remember it was blue. That much I do remember. Damn. Yeah, luckily I only had to get stitches a few times. But I chopped my knee open pretty good. Where I've seen my kneecap. I got to see my kneecap and all that stuff that's around it and all those tendons and muscles and ligaments and stuff. I've seen all that in my knee once. It was pretty wild. Don't ever need to see it again, but it was kind of cool to get to see it once, I guess. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, I got so lucky that hill was right there. It was crazy, though, because they had stitches inside my body. I got 11 stitches on the outside and 11 on the inside, he said. And I was like, come again? What'd you just say to me, bro? I said, you say I got stitches inside? And they're like, yep, they'll just dissolve away over time. We'll remove the 11 outside, but the 11 on the inside, because your cut was so deep, we had to stitch 2 different layers. I was like, whoa, that's kind of nuts. Didn't even know you could do that shit until then. I needed to move that farther over. That's trouble. That's pretty much the same way I felt when I crashed my car. I feel like I came to and I had this nurse asking me all these weird fucking questions that I didn't know no goddamn answers to. She's like, what's your mother's maiden name? And I guess I don't even remember answering them. I remember hearing all the stories. My mom said they asked me her maiden name, and I told them Mom was her maiden name. When I crashed my car, I was on the way to a football game, a JV football game, where we were playing a team from Silver Creek. And when the doctor, I guess, asked me who we were playing that night, because he asked what I was doing, I said I was on my way to a football game. He asked who we were playing, and I told him the Colorado Rockies. I don't remember that either. My mom said he just started laughing. He goes, yeah, you got a pretty good concussion, man. Because he goes, I'm pretty sure your local football team isn't playing a JV football game against the Colorado Rockies tonight. So yeah, I was pretty dinged up, I guess. And then I made my mom take us to the football game because I was all mad I was going to miss it. And I don't even remember going to the football game, but she says I made her take me to the game. I don't remember any of this shit. They could be making it up for all I know, but I don't see why they would. Ugh. Damn. I know how that feels, though. I've hit my head on the edge of a table pretty good. I had a friend that had to get his lip stitched in the corner because it got tore. I know how bad that is because he told me. That's horrible. Mouth stitches, man. Horrible. Horrible. My mom told me I jumped off the couch and hit my head on the edge of a coffee table when I was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old because I was watching Van Halen on MTV and the Jump video came on for their song Jump. And I guess when he jumped off the stage and did like this crazy, double karate kick thing, I thought I could do that as a 4-year-old, and I bailed off the top of the couch and I misplaced my landing area, I guess. I don't remember it. Once again, I was 4, but yeah, she says I smashed my head on the table. They thought I was fucking gonna be brain dead or something because I hit my head so hard. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why I am the way I am. Fuck the car accident when I was 4, man. Because I was watching Van Halen when I was a little tiny dude. Damn, that went really far over there. Shit. I have gotta stop this nonsense. Ugh. stitches inside my mouth. I mean, I had to have stitches in my ear once, and I thought that was evil. Go ball. Well, hey, at least you were in the right place, right? I mean, I guess if you're really gonna hurt yourself bad, hurt yourself at the hospital. I'm sure your mom was probably not too pleased with you at the time, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, that's alright. At least you were preoccupied. She knew you were in good hands, I'm sure. She probably really didn't appreciate the bill. Hey, that damn thing just about went right in the hole. I bet, dude. I still have, fuck, scars all over me and shit from my stitches and all my badass 80s and 90s injuries where it's like your mom's like, well, do you think it's broken? And I'd be like, I don't know. It's like, well, do you think you need to go to the hospital? It's like, I don't know. Well, let's just see how it goes. And you're like, alright. You're my mom, you know best. I thought that would come back and around, but it did not. Oh, why? How does this place do this? Didn't even turn at all. I did barely tap it. Got my work cut out for me here. Yep, I have one actual, like, blood brother. And then you're gonna have to give me a second to think about this. I've had 3 step siblings that, I mean, I guess I'm still their stepbrother or whatever, but My parents are no longer with their parents. And then I now have 2 other step-sisters because my mom is married to another dude now. All that chaos makes sense. Needless to say, Christmas time can get a little kooky sometimes for my family and whatnot. Well, that'll work too. But yeah, I only have one actual brother that I grew up with. Because my parents didn't split up and get divorced till I was like, oh fuck, what was I? Oh, it would have been like 20? Oh yeah. Mainly when we were really young. Like once we got to be, you know, when I was like 16 years old, I kind of just gave up on fighting with my brother. It was just a waste of my time at that point. Not saying we didn't, you know, have our disagreements, but as far as there like being like, you know, serious fights where my mom and dad had to like get in between us or something, and even then it wasn't ever something serious. It was usually probably something pretty stupid that we would fight over, but fight over Nintendo or something, you know, or a Super Nintendo score or something maybe, but unfortunately I rarely ever get to talk to my brother anymore. It's kind of a bummer. They both, my brother and my dad, are kind of just in their own little world, I guess is the best description for it, I suppose. Hey, which is crazy because like I used to get along with my dad and brother really stupid awesome when I was, you know, in my 20s, and I never really got along with my mom after I was about 15. Now I get along with my mom, but I never get to talk to. I get along with my dad and brother. They just choose not to talk to us ever. Sometimes it just depends, man. It kind of sucks though. It got to the point where the only time I would ever hear from is when they needed something. And like I said, I just had a birthday here at the end of July and nobody called me. Neither one of them called me on my birthday and shit. They didn't call either of my kids on their birthday, and it's like, yo, you know, it's kind of a grandpa job to call the grandkids on their birthday, man, and tell them happy birthday, but what are you gonna do? You know, you can't make people do shit. If they don't want to do it, that's their decision. I'm not gonna sit there and baby them. I got a life of my own, shit on my own I gotta deal with, so fuck, that's not good. Stop. Alright, at least we still kept the birdie out of it. They live about 2.5 hours away from me now. Originally my dad, after my parents split up, my dad, he lived around here for a while, and then he met somebody, I think via the internet, in Iowa. So he moved to Council Bluffs. And then about, I don't know, maybe a year later, my brother fucking moved up to Council Bluffs. And yeah, it's just kind of a mess. It's a messy situation. That's about the only place I could put that without taking a risk of putting it in the sand. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Alright, where are we at? So right now I'm tied. And they're both done. So I just need to find a few birdies here, god damn it. Say, sit close. You rat bastard. Right? Yeah, if there's one piece of advice I can give you, man, is just get along with your brother as best you can, and the older you get, it'll get easier. Because like I said, me and my brother didn't get along great when we were little, but I finally just kind of gave up the fight. And for a long time, we got along great, dude. It was nice. I was like, damn, dude, we should have done this probably a long time ago. But the biggest problem me and my brother have is we're nothing alike. It's kind of fucking weird. Like, I mean, when I say we're nothing alike, I mean, like, it's crazy when I sit and watch my kids, because they're just like one another. I mean, yeah, they have their differences, but like, they both love baseball, and they both love video games and stuff like that. And me and my brother had a couple things in common, but even like when video games came down to time to play a game, he'd want to play a completely different game than I would. And it was just like, man, we are totally different. Music was like the one thing we probably had the most in common, was our taste in music. And a lot of that was because I would like, oh, you gotta check this out, you know, check this out, dude. I try to show him cool bands and stuff, and yeah. But yeah, like, my brother hates sports. He absolutely, he just hates sports. Like, my mom made him go out for baseball, and it sucked, because his team ended up winning the fucking championship, and he could have gave a shit less, and I was so mad at him for that for like a year until the next season started. Because I was like, I think I was 14, and I was pretty close to being done on our, you know, local teams. I was going to have to go play on a different team for Legion Ball the next year, where none of my friends were probably going to come play with me. They were all going to be done with baseball. And I was so mad, because I was like, dude, your team just won the whole fucking thing in our area, and you don't even, like, give a shit. And he didn't even care. He's like, I don't care. He's like, so what? And I was like, okay, well. It's fucking weird, but okay. Said he liked to build shit and stuff like that. He liked to do things with his hands and all that stuff. And get in that hole. You bastard! Are you really gonna do that to me right now? Ugh, I don't know how that didn't go in that fucking hole. Alright, alright. It was weird. One night I had moved in with my dad and brother, because I was living in a not very good situation with some people who were doing some not very good things, and I really didn't want to be a part of it. So I asked my dad if I could, you know, live with him until I figured something else out. He let me come in, sleep on the couch for about a month or two, and while I was there one night, my brother was gonna sneak out with one of his friends, and I told him, I said, I don't know what it is, bro. I was like, but I got this really weird, like, pit in my stomach, and I think you should just stay home, because he didn't feel good that day. And I was like, I think you should just stay home, dude. I think something really, really fucking bad's gonna happen tonight, dude. And he's like, nah, I gotta go. You know, I told him I'd be there, and I can't not show up, and I'm the ride, and everything else. I was like, whatever, dude. And at about 3 in the fucking morning, my dad got a phone call. They busted my brother and the 2 friends he was out with stealing tires from some place like 10 miles away from where we lived. Oh, dude, my dad was so mad. And when my brother got home, he just looked at me, and as he walked past me, he was like, I should have listened to you. I was like, I know. It's because I know best, dude. I've been there. I lived it. Shit, push that one to the fucking right. I didn't want to do that. Damn it. Oh, man. It depends on the time of year. I'm 3 or 4 years, because his birthday's in March and mine's July. So when he was born, you know, I was 1980 and he was born in 1984. But, you know, there's a small fraction of the year where he's within 3 years of me. I always just say 4 years, because I figure, you know, year-wise, I was born 4 years before he was, but pretty much when I was a senior in high school, he was a freshman. And then, unfortunately, he ended up dropping out the next year after I was gone. I was like, man, I hope he didn't do that, because I wasn't, like, around or something. And he just said he just didn't want to go to school anymore. I was like, okay. I was kind of blown away that my mom let him do it. Yeah, that's how my kids are. They're 2 to 3 years. Just depends on when it is. Depends on when you ask that question. Well, that was risky business with the driver, but that worked out. Well, that'll work. Honestly, no, dude. There are days where one kid makes me more pissed off than the other, but then the next day it equals out. But as far as, like, you know, oh, you know, we're really, really good, like, both me and my wife, about making sure we don't do that, because after my parents split up, my mom definitely did favor my brother, and I didn't even notice it. She was the one that actually kind of brought it up to me, because we went over for Christmas one year. You know, we had different Christmases now, because my family is all, you know, broken, or whatever the word is. And I went to my mom's Christmas, and I got, like, a sweater and some other weird shit that was more of, like, a joke present, right? My brother got, like, hundreds of dollars worth of shit, and I guess I was just so used to it, I didn't even notice it. And finally, at the time, she was my girlfriend. She's like, dude, is that always, you know, is that normal at Christmas time for your brother to get, like, all this crazy, nice, expensive stuff, and then you just kind of get this weird shit? And I was like, you know, now that you say it, yeah, it kind of is. I was like, you know, now, when I was younger, I'd still get cool shit, but, like, I remember one year I think I got like 3 or 4 CDs, and I had this crummy little CD player. Like, when I say crummy, imagine a 1990s CD player from like Walmart, okay? But for me, I was cool with it because I got to listen to CDs, so I wasn't going to complain. That same year for Christmas, my brother got a stereo surround sound thing, like this huge fucking $200 CD player. But he didn't have any CDs, so guess whose CDs he got to use? My mom and dad were like, well, you know, since you have all the CDs, he can use your CDs. And I was like, okay. I just kind of agreed to it because, well, that's my parents and what they say goes. But looking back on it, it was like, well, that was kind of shitty, dude. It was like, you know, why didn't they just get both of us a somewhat nice radio rather than, you know, let me use my $12 special while he gets like a $200 CD player and uses my CDs? So, and that was, like I said, I think I told you too, when I got kicked out of my house for a couple weeks. When I came home, my brother took my room, and yeah, I just had to deal with it. It was just the way it was. Oh, that really fucking dive bombed. So I guess now, because of that, with us, we really try to make sure, and we also, though, with that said, if one kid gets something for doing something good, like, you know, or whatever, he gets rewarded, we don't reward them both just because it's fair. I want them to understand that life isn't always fucking fair. More times than not, it's not gonna be fair. But, you know, we don't ever try to make, you know, with that said, try to back, well, you know, you get more special shit just because. So we're just trying to make two very well-rounded human beings. That's my goal as a parent. Well, got the lead. That was a close one there, I tell you what. My cousin there is the Justice 80 guy. Shot a fucking 58 today. On that round, at least. Damn. But, like I said, we grew up in totally different eras. Like, I feel bad for kids today with the internet. Like, I'm glad we have the internet, but I feel so bad for fucking kids. Because, like I said, back in the day, if you had a problem with somebody, you dealt with it one of two ways. You fucking dropped it, or you dealt with it face to face, back behind a school. And you either, you know, you handled it, or you agreed to just drop it. And that was kind of how things went. Now, you have this, you know, capability of being totally almost to the point of anonymous, where you can just make shit up and attack people with a fake, you know, profile from the get-go, and it's just, there's no accountability, and it kind of drives me crazy anymore how I feel like people are kind of losing that ability to understand that you got to have accountability. You know, you got to, even if you do something stupid, you got to deal with it. You got to, you know, you gotta have accountability for stupid shit as just as much as the good shit. And I feel like of late, because of the internet, it's given people the ability to just lose that trait and not have to give a fuck what they do or say. I don't know. I think that's also part of the reason I don't have a cell phone, is because it's just one more avenue of being drug into that shit. So like I said, there are days where I fucking hate Facebook. It's like, God, I wish I didn't even have this shit, because just reading what some people write just about makes you want to boil over. But then you just got to remember they're idiots. You know, they're probably idiots, and they don't even know what they're talking about. They did no research. They just saw a story on the news, they wrote down their opinion and pressed enter without doing any research into it. And that's, like I said, my kid just got his phone back today because of the whole Instagram shit, where I told him, you don't need to be on Instagram. You have nothing you need to do on Instagram as a 12-year-old kid. Nothing. There's not one good thing that can come from Instagram for a 12-year-old kid. Same with Snapchat. There's just nothing good to it's just, you're just like asking for bad shit. Like I was on Instagram for about 10 minutes and I was like, yeah, there's no fucking way a 12-year-old should be on here. And like I said, if that makes me the fuddy-duddy parent, then so be it, I guess. I'd rather do that than, let some weirdo fucking end up friending my kid. And like I said, it's nowhere safe anymore. It don't matter if you live in a town like I do where 225 people live here, or if you live in a town where fucking 100,000 people live. There's fucking weirdos everywhere. We have one in my town who tends to like little kids. He just hasn't gotten caught yet, but we all know it because of things that have happened. And it just sucks because it's like that's who's on Instagram, is people like him, and they're not them on Instagram. They're somebody totally different. I don't doubt it, man. But like I said, anymore, there's nowhere that isn't. We have people in this town I live in now that moved here recently, and they have a fucking pet pig that they walk around town. And I guess, that's cool. People have weird pets anymore, but you drive by their house, they have 2 dogs chained up to a fucking tree. They got fucking shit everywhere in their yard, and their kids are coming outside. They ain't got fucking shoes on running around town, and it's just like, dude, the fuck, man? Like, what is this shit? Like, where are your kids' fucking shoes? Like, I get it, running around your own yard and your, whatever, but to take the dog for a walk without shoes all around town on the pavement and stuff, that seems... It's hot here, man. It's like fucking 1,000 degrees someday, dude. But I don't know. Once again, I guess to each their own. Everybody lives different. I just don't see how some of these people do it. And yet when the village goes after them, telling them they need to clean their yard up, they just don't understand why. It's like, because it doesn't have nothing to do with how it looks. It's not a look thing, it's a health thing. It's not good for you. It's just not. It's like, I don't know though. Yeah, I know how that shit goes. My brother lived in Omaha, and after his house got broken into and there was a shooting down the street, he went ahead and got a different apartment. Like, it was like in a 2-night span. There was a shooting the one night, and then the next night my brother's house got robbed. And I think the smartest thing that dude did was move, because they took a bunch of knives, and I was like, the last thing you want is these motherfuckers coming back and stabbing you with your own knives, man. That'd be horrible shit. Well, I don't know quite what to do. It sucks. I'm not tired, but I'm kind of golfed out. I can't even do this anymore. I got kicked out of this fucking society because my handicap got too high over there. That little number up in the top corner, it says plus 20.5. I guess that number can't be above 20 in order to play in that. Yeah, I've seen that up around parts where my brother lived. Driving around during the daytime, everything's pretty normal. You go out at nighttime to go to the grocery store or the gas station, you drive by a car that had wheels and now it's sitting up on cinder blocks. I'm like, Greg, what the fuck's going on there? And he's like, somebody probably got their fucking wheels stolen, dude. I'm like, oh, alright. Kind of always wondered what that was in movies when you saw cars up on a cinder blocks, sitting on the side of the road. It's like, well, that seems like an odd place to do vehicle maintenance. Nah, they ain't doing vehicle maintenance, bro. They ain't got no fucking wheels because they got jacked. Back when I grew up around here, you didn't have any of those type of issues. But once again, now with neighbors like mine, we don't leave anything laying out. We lock our doors at night. Just kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Wooden blocks, huh? Nice. I suppose they gotta get that car's wheels up off the ground somehow. Whatever works, right? It just seems to me like it's kind of extra work. Wouldn't criminals just like jack that shit up and just take the wheels off one at a time? Maybe that takes too long. I don't know. I'm not a wheel thief, so I don't know how that works. The wheels my brother tried to steal were already off the car. They were laying up against a junk shop when he stole his wheels. I don't even know why they were stealing them. They were junk wheels too. That was the kicker. I think they were just doing it to be dumbasses, but I suppose if you're stealing good wheels off of a car that are decent enough to actually use, then yeah, you just got to get that motherfucker up quick and get them off and go. Damn, dude, that sucks. See, that shit drives me crazy. Can't people leave shit alone, dude? I don't have a job right now. I haven't had a job for fucking almost a year now. Been applying at jobs, fucking interviews, everything else. But you know what you don't see me out doing? Stealing other people's shit. Because the last thing I feel like I should do is go steal from people who are doing, have a job and just trying to work to just paycheck to paycheck. You don't know who you're stealing from, man. That's the problem. None of these people know who they're stealing from. They think they can just steal whatever and take it because, well, it's not tied down. So fucking leave it alone, dude. If it ain't belong to you, don't take it. That's what's wrong with our world, dude. Dumbasses. It's just simple as that. It's really simple. People are like, oh, we need to solve all the world's problems. I can tell you what the world's problem is. We have too many dumbasses that don't understand to just leave shit alone. Don't fuck with other people. Leave people the hell alone. If you don't like them, don't like them. That's cool. You don't have to like everybody. That doesn't mean you gotta fight them just because you don't like them. Leave them alone. You leave them alone, they leave you alone. Everybody leaves everybody fuck alone. There you go. Partially. It's partially parenting, but even then, dude, at a certain point of your life, like, I just put this up on Twitter the other day because I seen some stuff about religion that was pissing me off, and I had to put in my 2 cents. And I don't like talking about religion, but I'm not of any religion. I'm an agnostic. I don't know if you know what that means, but pretty much what it means is I just don't believe in any one God. It doesn't mean I'm an atheist. It doesn't mean I don't believe in, like, absolutely nothing. I just don't believe in Jesus Christ per se. And I don't believe in a Buddha. I don't believe that. I'm not saying there's not a higher power, but I know this much, that as a human fucking race, we're definitely not smart enough to figure that shit out. And it pisses me off because so many people were going off about this, just in general, between Epstein stuff and Donald Trump this and Barack Obama that and religion this. And I was thinking, I'm not about to go cut off anybody's head in the name of agnostics. And you know why? Because I don't care what other people believe. If they want to believe in Jesus, hey, more powers to you. If it makes you feel better and it gives you some hope, then do it, okay? I'm never going to tell someone they shouldn't believe in something. If they truly want to believe in it, you believe in it. But don't try to make me, and that's kind of what my parents did. They forced religion down our throat. We were raised as Lutherans. And when I moved out of my parents' house, I had a right to start thinking for myself. And that's the problem, is so many people just can't think for themselves. They have to think in a group mentality. No one can just have their own original thought. They have to look at this person and go, yeah, that's a good idea. And that's how it is in religions. Everybody thinks their book is right and everybody else is wrong. And if you're wrong, you're not a good person. And that seems crazy to me. That seems very illogical to me, especially through a religion. If anything, everyone should be welcome. Doesn't matter what color you are, who you love, who you want to marry, who you worship. None of that shit should matter at the end of the day. Just be a good human being. Just be a good person, man. That's all you got to do. Right? And that's kind of how I am. I believe in the things that you can throw in front of my face and that can be proven to me. And I understand that faith is something that, quote, can't be proven. You just have to have faith. But I also have faith in science because it's proven. Like, that's my faith. Like, you know. Yep, that's my dad in a nutshell. He gets really mad at me because he claims I'm not coming to heaven, and that makes him really sad and mad that I won't be in the same heaven as him. And I tell him every time, I'm like, that's like the weirdest thing you could say to me, man. Like, who cares? We're gonna be dead. You know, if what you say is true and people that are good go to heaven, then I feel like I should be solid. But because I didn't worship Jesus Christ, I'm not allowed. You know what I mean? That, I don't know. Something just seems off to me about that. And I'm not saying all people are religious freaks. My dad isn't really a religious freak, but he takes religion a little too seriously. And I guess sometimes it just, I don't know, it kind of just rubs me the wrong way how those people get about things and how what they use in the name of their gods. And I mean, we have people across the ocean in the Middle East that are willing to literally kill another person in the name of their god. You know, that's messed up. And now it seems over here, even, we're starting to get people that are willing to do stupid shit in the name of a guy who tells them because, well, you know, God is great. No, that's, I don't know. It's hard. And like I said, you try to tell my dad that and he just disagrees with you up and down until the fucking end of the day, and there's nothing you can do to change his mind. And it's like I told him, I'm not here to change your mind. I just wish you'd have a little more open mind about things in general and how to get along better with other people just because they're not your religion. You know, when I moved to that second town I was telling you about, the majority of the problems I had there were because of religion. Because I was, 15, freshman in high school, and I wore Metallica shirts, I wore Jackal shirts, I wore Megadeth shirts, and I got called a fag because I wore those shirts. And that seemed weird to me. Like, what are these people's problems, man? And it's because I figured it out. They all were super religious, and, that music was from the devil, and that meant I was spreading the devil's word, and I was a fag, and I was this, and I was that, and yeah, I was wrong, they were right, I was a bad person, they are good people. Even though they were calling me names, I was the bad guy. And that's what opened my eyes, actually. Like, that's when I started kind of thinking for myself, like, hold the boats, dude. Like, I don't want to be in this group anymore. Like, I don't want to be even associated as a Lutheran because of this. So I don't know. It's been hard because, like, my wife, she's not a church goer, but she still has her beliefs. So, like, with the kids, it's been really weird. I just told her, I was like, I guess you just do what you want to do, but just realize that once they become 18, they're allowed to think whatever the fuck they want. And there's really nothing we can do about it. If they want to go believe in Buddha or the spaghetti monster, the flying spaghetti monster, they can, and there's nothing we can do about it. So just remember that. Well, what do I do? This sucks. I'm not tired, but I feel golfed out. Bruh. But either way, if I stop this game, I have to stop the stream because I can't start up another game without it kicking it off. And I really don't want to start another stream, but right? Well, man, the best advice I can give you is just, like I said, just be a good person, and I guess just try not to be judgmental like a lot of religions are, and just be kind. Be kind to everybody. Because like I said, I guess that's what we need more. That's what we need more of in the world. Is people who can just be kind to other people. And if you can't be kind, if you just absolutely can't get along with somebody, just don't get around them. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but it seems simple to me. I feel like people make it pretty fucking difficult. Everybody's got to fight about this or fight about that, and Jesus, you can't even get on Twitter anymore without reading some shit where you're just like, God, I can't believe that these are the people that are running around the world, you know? Like, these are the people that are preaching this shit to others. And it's like, who cares? That's your belief. Why push it on everybody else? If you want to believe in it, that's cool, but yeah, people are assholes everywhere, I promise. Assholes are everywhere. They're like belly buttons, then. Everybody's got one. But with that said, for every asshole, you gotta hope there's at least 2 good people. And if we can do that, if we can put 2 good people on this world for every 1 asshole, one day the good people will outnumber the assholes. And then the good people can finally take this place back and do what needs to be done and get the assholes out of here and give them an island to go be assholes on. It's like, I asked my dad one time, one of my cousins is a lesbian. She married another girl. And I said, you know, growing up, those kids meant so much to you as your, you know, niece and nephew. And now one of them is a lesbian. So does that mean she doesn't get to come to your heaven anymore? And he's like, well, yeah, according to my God, you know, she married another girl and that's, you know, a sin. And I'm like, see, that's crazy. I'm like, do you hear yourself? That's your niece. That's my cousin. She's like a sister, man. And now you're telling me just because of who she decides to love, she's a bad person? Come on. Yeah, that's just customers, dude. Customers are always going to be assholes. I worked in grocery stores, trust me. There's just some days people are just looking for a cut. They just want to, you know, they want something free. They want this, they want that. I worked at a pizza place, man. It drove me nuts. You know, I was a delivery guy. I'd get their shit there and they'd be like, this is wrong. And I'd look at the tag and be like, well, the tag says this. Well, that's not what we ordered. All the way back down to the restaurant, and they'd be like, that's what they said on the phone, man. And then I gotta go back to their house and then get yelled at some more and be like, this is what they said you ordered. Well, we're not paying for it. You go get what we ordered, and then you gotta go back and get what they ordered. Because that notion the customer's always right bullshit, man, that's about the most farce thing since car insurance and health insurance is the customer is always right. Are you fucking kidding me? No, the customer is almost always certainly wrong. They're just told they're right, so they assume they are. When I worked at the hotels, people just blew my mind how they just thought, you know, because it was their hotel room, they could punch a hole in the wall and then not be charged for it. And they're like, what do you mean I'm going to get it charged extra? It's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you punched a hole in the bathroom fucking door. Why wouldn't you get charged for that? It's like, who you telling me, you know, you're not going to have to at home. If this happens at home and you bust a hole in your bathroom door, you have 2 options. You're either going to leave the hole or have to go buy a new door, and you're going to have to pay for the door, right? They're not going to give it to you free at Menards just because you walk in and back, well, I busted my bathroom door, I put my fist through it, so I need a new one. They're going, oh yeah, take this one, dude, it's free. No. And we're a hotel, so we don't have the option of leaving a giant hole in the door because someone got angry or drunk or whatever. So now we're gonna make you pay for the new fucking door. Oh, that's just horse shit. It's horse shit. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, they claim they know, but once again proved that shit. That's one time when we were doing our comedy thing, we actually had a skit, but we didn't do it because we were worried it was going to offend way too many people. And now in hindsight, I wish we'd have just fucking done it, because now that's what the internet is. It's the best videos are the one that offend the most people, because smart people realize it's just a joke. Dumb people get offended. And I wrote a skit one night about a guy who wrote a Bible and was going to go bury it in the yard out back in hopes that one day it would get found and people would think this was a real religion. And when I say he was going to write a book, it was going to be the craziest things, like, you know, the things you were allowed to do to people were going to be nuts and like all this crazy stuff. But we talked about it, my friend's like, I'm worried we're really going to get in trouble, like too many people around here that are super religious are really going to come after us, man, because we're going to make fun of every religion that's around here. And I was like, I really don't care. Honestly, I'm going to make fun of my religion too. So but we didn't do it. That skit and the other skit we didn't do because my friend was worried our wives were going to get mad at us, was the skit where we were going to have a dude with a hooker get caught by a cop, okay? So they're sitting in the car, cop walks up, knocks on the window, asks what they're doing. Kid in the passenger seat, totally cool. You know, guy in the passenger seat, or in the driver's seat, I should say, is just totally, like, not even worried, because, you know, he tells the cop, hey, man, here's the deal. I have this thing that was on my dick, and I don't have insurance, and I figured who best to tell me what this might be but her. And the cop wasn't going to believe him, but that's really what it was. He really had a thing on his dick, and he was just looking for somebody to help tell him what it was. But we didn't do it because my friend thought our wives were going to get too mad at us for doing that skit. Yep. I know it, dude. I don't know how many times I got yelled at over the phone for shit that I'm just like, why are you even yelling at me? I'm just a pizza guy. Like, you don't even need to be yelling. You could just tell me what happened and we could get this done a lot sooner if you'd stop yelling. I worked at a grocery store and the old ladies would get mad because the milk was expiring in 6 days, and they'd want to know if I could go in the back and get them one that didn't expire as soon. And it didn't bother me, but we got in trouble for doing it, and we got told, you can't do that. You need to just tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to do that. You know, you can dig through the rack if you would like, but I'm not allowed to go in the back and get it for you like this. Which I thought was stupid, but whatever. It was the rule. And then they get mad at us. You know, the old ladies got mad at us for it. Well, you did it for us before. I'm like, I am sorry. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't know it was against the rules. You know, they told me you can dig. Well, I'm not digging through there. This is just crazy. It's like I'm not going to get fired for getting you milk. Put it that way. It's like, okay. It's like I can't get fired to do you a solid. Right? I thought it would have been awesome skit, man. I was laughing my ass off the night I wrote it. I wanted to play the dude in the car, and I was going to have my friend play the cop, or we were going to try to get one of our real local cops to help us out so we could get real car with cherries and everything. But he's like, dude, my wife's going to really kill me if we do this, and I think your wife's not going to be pleased. And I was like, I don't think she'll be that upset, man. It's a skit. It's not like we're really buying a prostitute. I was like, yeah, if we really went out and bought a prostitute and showed one of our dicks, then yeah, I could understand how that could be an issue for further, problems. But I honestly think since it's just a skit, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Right? You're just doing your job. Yep, that's the line I probably use the most in my life. I'm just doing my job. I'm sorry. I'm just doing my job. We used to do prank phone calls, and we used to call in sick to places that we didn't work. And now I see people doing that on YouTube all the time. I had my friend call a grocery store place one time, telling him that he wasn't coming in because he had caught hepatitis Z. And the lady she thought it was like a legit thing. She's like, oh my God. Okay. And she's like, what'd you say your name was again? You know, we had made up names, and he's like, I just wanted to call in and let him know, you know, so you can tell him I'm not going to be able to be there tonight. Because, yeah, this hepatitis Z is bad stuff. Everything's all itchy. I got this rash. And it was one of those TMI things where way too much information. And she was like, you could tell she didn't know what the fuck to say. She was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll let him know. And I was just kind of like, keep her going, dude. Like, keep her going. Tell her your teeth even hurt, man. Yep, people love that. They think we can just change prices on things. Don't you think this costs a little much? Can't you do anything about this? It's like, yeah, I can give you the phone number for Kraft Foods, and then you can call and complain about cheese costing too much. It's like, besides that, man, there's really not much I can do for you. Like, it's kind of out of my control. Or people that complain about how much the hotel room costs. Wasn't there anything you can do for me? It's like, no. Like, that's what our corporation tells us we have to charge you, unless you were, you know, you have AARP or whatever. Those discounts you can get, but I can't just give you a cheaper room because, you know, you want one. People are crazy like that, though, dude. As I like to say, people be tripping. Yeah, man, you got me talking about all my skits, man. You make me want to fucking start filming these goddamn things again, dude. Making me want to go back and try to find all those Henry Allen videos on MySpace somehow. Those were the dumb ones too that are on MySpace. Those weren't even the good ones. The good ones were on YouTube that got deleted. I appreciate that. Sometime I'll have to find my notebook. Maybe I'll play a different game where I don't have to be as engaged with it necessarily. I don't know what I could do, but I could tell you some of my shit that I have in there. The Booko sketches. Well, it's kind of a weird story. Like, best way to put it is he had some life shit come up that he needed to handle. So we decided he was just going to take a little break and I'd keep writing, and then when he was ready to come back, he would come back and we'd work on the stuff that I'd been writing or anything maybe he had done, you know, while we kind of took our little break. And then one day we had chatted. Finally he thought he was feeling better, you know, thought everything was, you know, good in his life to the point of where he could come back and start doing some filming, because it was time consuming shit. It wasn't just something we just did. We tried to do a good job. Like, we tried to put a little thought and put some production value into it, I guess, at least as much as we could with what we had. And he showed up to film that day, and I could tell it was just weird. And he kind of just said to me, I'll be honest, man, I'm kind of ashamed of this stuff. Like, I feel like someday somebody's going to look back at this and, like, I'm going to feel really dumb that I did these. And I was like, who cares? You know, I was like, what if something comes of it? You know, what if we make something of it? I was like, all we've talked about is all this stuff we've written is how cool it'd be as if somebody thought our ideas were good enough to take us in and give us money to do this shit, you know, and fund this stuff. Because I was like, you know, we can't. We only have so many funds to work with, and it wasn't much, you know. We all had kids and life shit, so like, how cool would it be? And he was just like, I don't know, man. He said he just felt kind of ashamed and like just didn't really feel like he wanted to do it anymore. And I just kind of, that's, you know, once again, that's, if a person, I don't want to make a person do something they don't want to do like that, because then you're not going to do nearly as good a job. You know, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do a good job doing it. And I just asked him, I was like, well, then, you know, do you care if I do it on my own, at least, if I keep the name? Because I just didn't want to lose what audience we had kind of built up and change it all to just myself. And I was going to explain to people that, you know, he wasn't going to do it. I was even going to maybe try to find other people who maybe kind of wanted to come and do it with me to keep it alive, and hoping maybe he would see, you know, and want to come back. Because I told him, you're always welcome. Still to this day, I tell him, you know, you're always welcome to come back and we can do this again, dude. Even better now. But, yeah, he just, you know, he said, you know, do whatever you want to do, man. You do, you know, he gave me the rights, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And one day I went to get on our YouTube page and I noticed like all the videos were gone. And I messaged him and I was like, what happened? He's like, dude, I had to get him, I had to make him go away. He goes, like I said, I just don't want him on there anymore. And I was like, that sucks, because some of that was quote unquote, you know, mine. But I don't know. He was a good friend and I knew he was going through a lot of shit. And I was just like, all right, that's cool, man. You know, that's, if it makes you feel better, then do it. So, I mean, we had 2 videos at the time that were over 1,000 views, and they'd only been up for a couple, you know, like one of them was only up for a month and it was over 1,000 views. And we had another one that was up around 6,000 views. It had been up for like 3 or 4 months. So it wasn't like we were just talking about 80 views here. You know, we're talking about, you know, thousands of views we had on our videos. Yep, I know him. Like I said, yeah, I still talk to him on a regular basis just to check in on him and make sure he's good and shit. And it sucked because here about a year and a half, 2 years ago, him and his wife split up and stuff. And I kept track of him and made sure he's doing as good as he could be. And yeah, I actually just messaged him 3 or 4 nights ago, told him that I'd sent that shit off to the production studio and that he should get back up with me and start writing with me again. So, like I said, I don't know. I just left everything that I had put up, because he was in charge of what we had done. Is I was in charge of MySpace, he was in charge of YouTube, and then we had a mutual Facebook thing that we both ran together, since we could both get on it easily. So pretty much whenever we got a new video made, I would put it on MySpace, and then I'd give him the hard copy. He'd put it on YouTube, and then he'd give me the hard copy back, and then I'd put it with my other shit, so I had it here in case. The problem was we didn't want to keep putting the same videos, so what we started doing was the videos we thought were the best we put on YouTube, and then kind of like the B-roll or like the behind the scenes or the, you know, the goober stuff that we messed up on, we put on MySpace. And like I said, that's why it kind of sucked that the MySpace stuff is the stuff that's still around and the YouTube stuff is the stuff that's gone, because the YouTube stuff was the good stuff and the MySpace stuff was kind of just the extra shit. So, I don't know. I'd be lying if I didn't say I missed it every day. Because just about every day I miss filming. I miss the, I think I miss the most is coming up with the ideas. Like, I'd write an idea at night and I'd sit here like a little kid on Christmas waiting to tell him about my idea and then to make it come alive. That was just really cool shit, getting to see something like that just, you know, start off as a stupid ass idea and then next day you're filming it. It was just kind of cool. And that's why I'm hoping if I can get something to go with one of these other more lengthy ideas that's more than just a 3 to 10 minute sketch. I thought, how cool would that be to have like a, you know, 90-page script transfer into a, you know, hour and a half, 2 hour long movie. I'm like, how fucking cool is that? It's just something about it is very pure and good. But I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We shall see. I guess I just like to make people laugh, because there's something really cool about getting to know that something that came out of your mouth gave person the type of joy that I get when I laugh and when I get a smile, that feeling you have. I love doing that for other people because I don't know, you know, especially if a person's having a bad day. There's nothing I love more than making them laugh and trying to, even if they just forget about it for that couple of minutes. Yeah, I feel like we're just starting. That was the worst part about it, is literally was the timing. Because for a long, we probably shot videos for about 2 years. And we were really, like, after about that first year was more of a learning experience. After that first year, though, I really felt like we started to figure out what we were best at. And it was showing on the views, because the views were just getting better. Every video we put out, we'd put out one video when we first started and maybe we'd get 50 views. And even for me, I thought that was pretty cool that, 50 people watched our shit. But then one morning I woke up, he called me and he was like, have you checked out our YouTube shit? And I was like, nah, I haven't even gotten on there. He's like, you need to. And it was just, there was a video we had shot where my buddy dressed up as this character we created named Bubba. He was Bubba Presley. He was Elvis's third cousin, was the storyline. And it was crazy because people around here didn't even know that my buddy was Bubba. He got a wig, a whole outfit, everything. And we shot this video because at the time MTV Cribs was a big deal. So I had this idea of like, dude, how funny would it be if Bubba had a Cribs? Because the thing is that he lived in a camper, like a mobile camper that you could move around with a truck. It didn't even drive itself. You had to pull it around with a truck. But I was like, how funny would it be to do a Cribs episode of Bubba? And we did that, and it was like a 10-minute long fucking thing where we literally had no script. I played the MTV producer and cameraman, and he played Bubba. It was a 2-person skit, and it was just fucking gold, man, and it just blew up. Like, it literally just, it went from being a 50 views, maybe 150 views if we were lucky, to fucking thing had like 700 views in just no time. And that was the one that ended up with, like I said, like 6,000 or 7,000 views after a couple months. And that's when we realized, okay, there's, that's a character that has to come back. He's got to reoccur. That can't just be a one-time deal with that. Janitor named Bubba. This Bubba was, if I recall, he didn't have a job, but we were trying to figure out a way to give him more of a backstory. But we even I worked at a hotel at the time, and there was this construction crew that was there, and he heard me talking about this, these videos we did, and he ended up checking them out one night when he was bored at the hotel. The next day I came into work, all of them were giving me shit. They were laughing. They're like, dude, that Bubba guy is fucking hilarious. And they're like, do you really know him? Like, I was like, yeah, I know him. I was like, you guys want to fucking meet him? And they're like, yes. So we actually, at night, after the manager left, I got him all in costume, and we went out and filmed Bubba at the hotel with all these construction guys, and they were giving him beers, and he was shotgunning them and stuff, and they were letting us come in their rooms and shit and drinking with them and stuff. Oh, it was fucking crazy. But that's when we realized that, like I said, we had an actual legit character. It wasn't just a one-time, and we started using it. We had Bubba on fake acid, where I that one was good too. I don't know, man. Do you have any form of social media, like a Twitter or something like that, dude? Because if you do, I can dig this shit up, and I can send you these links and stuff, and you can watch these videos, because I know where they're at. I have found them, and I know where they exist on the interwebs. Okay, you have Twitter. If there should be somewhere on here, there should be, yeah, right underneath here. If you go down underneath this video, there should be a thing down here. It says, you know, online society rounds. It says hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and then it says follow me on Twitter. There's a link right there. If you go to my Twitter page and you follow me, I'll look for the Adrian thing, and when I see it, I'll follow you back right away. And as soon as I do, I'll try to find these sons of bitches, and I'll have to start getting you some of this stuff, dude. Maybe we can make a comeback. Maybe you can start spreading it around to a new generation. When we did our rock show, we actually had him bring his Bubba outfit, and we didn't tell anybody. And at one point in time, he kind of disappeared, and I kind of took the crowd away from him, his attention, you know, and he went off into the back room. And I got up on stage, and I was just kind of, you know, doing my spiel, doing my little 3-minute stand-up in between bands when we were changing out bands. And while I was doing that, he went and changed into Bubba's outfit, and he kind of snuck into the crowd. Okay? And when this death metal band started playing, all of a sudden here's fucking Bubba that showed up, and he started fucking mosh pitting and raging around. People were laughing. It was the greatest thing ever. I know I have a couple videos I saved on Facebook that I don't even think he knows exist, because those were the videos he deleted because, you know, he was ashamed of this Bubba character. He just said it was so fucking stupid that, I don't know, I thought it was awesome. Like, I was like, at first I was really mad at him because, like I said, I felt like we had something, and we kind of just, we let it go, and that, you don't get those chances very often, I don't feel like, in life, and I feel like that was one big fucking chance we kind of let go. Sweet. I will follow you back here as soon as I get off here, and I'll start digging those up. Like I said, ultimately I have everything we ever filmed on a fucking disc down here, but I can't just put those on the internet anymore, because it's like, some of them are we were getting ready to make a DVD that we were going to try to sell for $5, so a lot of them are in like order for the DVD for when I went to make the DVD. All I had to do was put the fucking disc in, copy it over to this DVD thing we had, and then give them a title. So I can't just necessarily load them, but I can watch them, and eventually, if I had the time, I could go through and separate the files, but it would take me a long time. But yeah, we had some good Bubba skits, man. Bubba was my favorite. And still to this day, people don't realize my buddy was Bubba. They think he was a person that, like, we knew. It was kind of like my buddy's Superman character. It was like he was Clark Kent, and when he wasn't Clark Kent, he was Bubba Presley. Because we actually had people asking us, where did you find this guy? Where's he from? You know, how did you meet this guy? How did you talk him into doing this shit? And I was like, dude, people don't even know that's you. I'm like, that was the day I knew, like, we had really done something special. I was like, people we know that we went to high school with don't know that's fucking you underneath that Bubba outfit, dude. Now, granted, if they were probably in person, it wouldn't take them long, but over video, it was. He transformed himself into fucking Bubba. I hear you down there, kitty. My cat's mad because he's probably like, bro, it's time to go to bed. And I'm like, cat, I'm not tired. I'm sorry, man. Well, I hate to get off here. It's nice to chit-chat and all, but I should probably get off here. I gotta get up in the morning somewhat early and start getting ready for kids in school this next week. They start school up here, I think Wednesday or Thursday. So we got all kinds of shit here to do for the next couple days. We gotta make a Walmart run, try not to get shot there, and get school supplies. And then Monday is our one off day. Tuesday we gotta go buy Avengers Endgame and nerd out on that. I think tomorrow night we're gonna watch Infinity War, and then the next night we're gonna watch Endgame. So I might not stream the next couple nights. Just kind of depends what time movies get done and how I'm feeling afterwards, but we'll see. I need to do some Grand Theft Auto. I've been thinking about getting on there and doing something with that. Holy shit. But yeah, man, I'll get on Twitter here shortly because I'll probably be up for another hour or so. And I'll have to send you some stuff I can find. Hopefully my Twitter doesn't freak you out, you know, because some of the shit on there, it gets a little weird, but it's nice because none of my friends or family are on Twitter. Alright, well, I'm calling it a night. Everybody take it easy. Have a good day tomorrow. Peace out.